Hey guys, thank you so much for checking back in for our next miracle of Jesus during his ministry. This is one of the better known ones. I've done a few that you probably didn't recognize. At least I didn't. Probably ones that I'd skim over in the past. This one, no one skims over. This one, everyone knows. I think even people that aren't Christians uh, have heard of this miracle that Jesus performed. So, this is the miracle of the 10 lepers. This is in Luke 17, 11 through 19. I'm not home and I don't have my scriptures, so I'm going off some notes here. So if um, I'm not if I'm not accurate in um, reading what's in the scriptures, I apologize because I'm not smart enough to use my video and my scriptures at the same time on my phone. Anyway, so Jesus is heading towards Jerusalem, and he enters into a village, and there's 10 men who are lepers there. And they lift up their voices and they call out to Jesus, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And that makes me think, just right there, um, how how brief some of the requests are for Jesus to heal them, and these requests are answered. Um, I know just this morning I was praying for someone, and gosh, I prayed for a long time, and kind of went over a lot of stuff and the pros and cons of um, different ways things could turn out, and praying for Jesus' love and to help us to see his direction. Um, and I don't know, I probably probably prayed, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes or something on this one thing or more. Um, and a lot of the requests in the Bible are Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. 6 words. And there's 10 people lifting up their voices, so I'm sure there was some more back and forth there, but this is what we have. They didn't sit down with Jesus and give a PowerPoint presentation and show the pros and cons and the SWOT analysis of what would happen if their desires were granted. Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And Jesus, he saw them and said, go show yourselves unto the priests. And okay, there's a couple things here. We've already talked in a previous video about the process of showing yourself to the priest and being healed by the priest, which was really cool. There's a lot to that, there's a lot of beauty in that process of showing yourself to the priest before a leper would be allowed back into society. So that's really cool. So he told them to show yourselves unto the priests, and I like that because almost every video we've talked about a few different aspects of the miracles and how to look at them. One big one, they're always immediate. Jesus saw them, said, be healed. They touched Jesus and were healed. Jesus said something and was healed. Jesus touched their eyes, whatever, immediate. Everyone's always healed immediately. And here Jesus just said, go show yourselves unto the priests. They were not healed immediately. They were not healed at that time. Go show yourselves to the priests. To me, doing a little research of why would I show myself to the priest? Who cares? Well, that's part of that process that we reviewed in more detail in an earlier one. But a leper would go show themselves to the priest and go through the cleansing process with the priest. And then at the end of that cleansing process would be pronounced clean to enter back into the city, into society, all this. So it's a pretty cool process. So he's telling them to go show themselves to the priest. And they're like, okay, let's go. But they probably looked down and thought, I'm not healed. I'm still sick. I still have leprosy. I'm not healed yet. What's wrong? But they had faith. They knew that following Jesus could heal anything. But leprosy was one of those that they knew that he had healed before and that they could be healed of at the same time. So we have 10 people. So they all get up and they go towards the priest. and it says, as they went, they were cleansed. So the 10 people, in the process of going to show themselves to the priest, they were cleansed. They were cleansed on the way there. They were cleansed en route. I don't know why they weren't cleansed immediately, healed immediately, but they were healed as they went to show themselves to the priest. I think there is a huge, huge level of faith, because a part of me would think, I'll go show myself to the priest when I'm healed, because there's no sense in me going to show myself to the priest and go through this cleansing process if I still have leprosy. I'll tell you what, you heal me and then I'll go show myself to the priest. Luckily, all 10 of these men had that faith, and they followed what Jesus said, and they went, and on that path, on the way to the priest, they were cleansed. Not immediately, not when they got to the priest, but somewhere in between. And I kind of like this. I mean, I can't say that that I like it more than being healed immediately, but I think that in our own lives, when Jesus is not physically standing before us to do something, and instead we pray for healing, and then Jesus leads us on a journey of healing, it's the process that heals us. And I think for us, the process is the healing, and that's where it comes from, and I love it. So these people, they were cleansed as they went forth. They went out to be obedient. And I think about like other miracles, like they went to cross the Red Sea, and they were walking towards it, and they were like gonna walk into the wet river, and then it parted. Or like sometimes they're not healed until the very end. So Jesus will send someone on a path and be like, okay, I could have, sorry, I don't know if this is gonna look funny, but anyway, Jesus could heal them immediately, like right now, or he can heal them as they get to the priest. So between Jesus and the priest, they're going to be healed. Some people are healed immediately. Some people aren't healed until they get to the priest. Some people are healed along that path. And you know what? There's probably, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just guessing. Throwing that out there, there's probably some of them that were healed early on. Some of them healed along the way. Some of them, number 6, he probably wasn't healed till he's like, oh, those other 5 got healed. Oh, this is what's happening. Okay, now I have enough faith. I will be healed. Some of them, number 10, and I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if number 10, like, saw the priest 30 feet off. He looked down. I still have leprosy. And then had the faith to take those final steps to the priest. And when he showed himself to the priest, he had been healed at the last minute. I don't know that at all. I don't know if they walked out of the city or wherever and they were all healed at the same time. I don't know how that worked. But since I'm making up how that could have been, it could have happened anyway. And to me, that's kind of how life is. Some are healed instantly. Some are healed at the end. And I almost think for that person that got to the priest and looked down and wasn't healed and took those last few steps, how much more faith did it take to take those final steps as compared with people who are healed on really early and did not have that didn't have that trial of faith, right? It's the one that got healed at the end that had that trial of faith. The one that was told to walk towards the river, and it was not until he took that last step that it parted. It's the one that made it clear to the priest and was 100% obedient, not knowing how or when they would be healed. So awesome story there. Again, I think that's way more frequent how the miracles happen in our lives. Sometimes a miracle happens instantly. Sometimes we are sent on a journey. Okay, you need healing. Okay, go talk to this person. Go make things right with this person. Go read this book. Go to therapy. Go to church. Go talk to your pastor. Go talk to, I don't know, whatever it is. Whatever Jesus has in store to follow. And all I know about what he has in store is it never makes sense. Like, okay, that's why we have faith. That's where the faith comes in. Anyway, one of the lepers, when he saw he was healed, he turned back, and I love this. We're gonna skip a little bit and come back. So he was a Samaritan. Samaritans are the rotten people. No one likes the Samaritans. They are unworthy and unclean. So not only does this person have leprosy, but they're Samaritan. They're double bad. No one wants to be around this person. Even if this person was healed and perfectly healthy, no one would want to be around this person. Because even in that state, that person would still be considered dirty, lowly, less of a person. But this one person who was a Samaritan, when he saw he was healed, turned back, and with a loud voice glorified God. And I love that it was a loud voice. I love that there was no shame, not worried about what people thought. When he saw that he was healed, he turned around on a loud voice, loud voice. Again, I'm sure that there was bajillions of people. There's always these crowds of people. There's probably 100-something people that heard this person yell out and glorified God. And sorry guys. And then he fell on his face at his feet, giving thanks. The first things he did when he was physically healed, when he was physically capable, is he turned from the path he was on and went to Jesus. He glorified Jesus with a loud voice, glorified God. He fell at Jesus' feet and he gave thanks. You think about someone who has a physical ailment, who is in jail, who is unable to live freely, and they think, as soon as I'm out of here, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or I'm going to Disneyland, or I'm going to eat a steak, or I don't know, whatever people have in mind. The first thing he did when he was a free person, he turned back, glorified God, fell on his face at Jesus' feet, and gave thanks. Which is so beautiful. And it makes me think in my life, like, am I glorifying God like I should? Am I giving thanks like I should? Am I waiting to be healed and see some miracle before I give thanks? I don't need to. I shouldn't. I should be doing that all the time. Because I think that we are healed, and I think he intervenes in our life a lot more than we give him credit for, and we should be giving him thanks daily. But when Jesus saw this person come back, he asked, weren't there 9 people that got healed? And yeah, there were 9. I don't know where the others are. Sorry, Jesus, just the one guy came back. And then it sounds like Jesus was talking to his disciples, who answered. And then Jesus spoke to the Samaritan who came back and was healed, said, "Arise." Even that, arise, like, lift yourself up, stand up. You now have the strength, you have the full strength. I don't know how sick this person was, but now he's got the full strength to stand up. Jesus is allowing him from this struggling point to arise and become better. Jesus healed him, but he has to get up on his own. He has to put in that work. He has to rise up, stand up, arise. Go thy way. Go back to your life, whatever else you had planned on. Take care of this. The last thing Jesus said, arise, go thy way. Thy faith hath made thee whole. 10 people were healed. 10 lepers were healed. 10 people were obedient to what Jesus said. 10 people were strictly 100% obedient to what Jesus said, and they were healed, which is fantastic. And they went on their own ways, and they lived their life and did the things that they wanted to do, and the things that they always thought, if I was healed, I'm going to do this. So they're out doing those things, which is great. But the one came back and gave thanks. And Jesus told him, thy faith hath made thee whole. So it sounds like all 10 were physically healed from the disease. One person was made whole. One person returned to Jesus and was made whole. And I think that that's what Jesus does. Jesus wants to make us whole. Whole in not only in body, but in spirit, in mind, spiritual cleanliness. I think that his faith that led him back to glorify God is what made him whole. Everyone was healed. This person was healed and was made whole. I'm not sure about needing to repent or any of that stuff, or if he was cleansed of his sins or being made whole, he gets to go to heaven. I don't know how that all works, and I don't know exactly what it means to be made whole, but his returning to Christ and showing gratitude for what Jesus had done allowed him to be made whole. It sounds like being made whole is a far higher blessing than just healing. All of them were healed physically. The one from Samaria was healed spiritually. He was healed both ways and was made whole because he followed God and because he was grateful. Last thing, I just encourage everyone to be grateful. And I remember one time at an old job we got a bonus or something, and I wrote the boss an email. I'm like, hey, thank you so much. This means a lot to my family. I appreciate it. And it was like 10-second email, really, really short. And I guess the boss that shared it with the HR person who shared it with me, that they're like, this really means a lot. Hundreds of people, there's probably only 2 or 3 that reach out and say thank you for a bonus or a raise or something. And it's not even like the 10 lepers. It's like there's 100 lepers where only one returns. And it really made me think and evaluate my own life. How many blessings are we receiving? How many people are doing amazing things for us in life? Other people. And am I giving thanks to those people for that? Not only that, am I giving thanks to God for the blessings I have in my life? For the health, for being able to look at the miracles in the scriptures, for being able to speak, for having technology to be able to record this, for all these things. Like, there's so many miracles that happen for me to be able to get here today and to do this, and just in my life. And I'm so grateful for those things. But do I give enough thanks? And I hope we do. And I think when we return to other people and God especially, and give thanks for his miracles in our lives, we too will be made whole. Not only will he answer our prayers and the little bit that we're asking for this, and we get this, and then that gratitude led this person to receive so much more. Such a greater blessing. I love it. Show gratitude. Follow Jesus.